Titletown, it's Green Bay, back to town. Matter, hey, sacrifice the price we pay. Never back down, ain't no way. Champions in every way. Leaders on board, they are made. Fight for greatness every day. It's Titletown, USA. Go Pack, go! 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 Go Pack, go!
What is going on, Packers Nation? I am going to be talking about the 53-man roster, and I know this is a little late, but I really wanted to get this out, really wanted to talk about it. I was also going to talk about a preview for the Bears game today, because today is game day, let's fucking go, but I'm going to save that for a video, which will be coming shortly after this podcast. So, 53-man roster thoughts. First off, we're going to start at QB. We'll go to running back, fullback, wide receiver. We'll go through all the offense, and then we'll go through the defense. I'll give my thoughts on all of it. So, Brett Hundley's gone. Traded him. I mean, at least we got something for the guy. I mean, what else could we really have hoped for that situation? And Brett Hundley, I mean, for the most part, has always looked good in the preseason. I mean, he did look like a different guy this time around. He looked way more smooth, way more natural in the pocket. He looked good. He really did. He made some pretty good throws, but the guys always look good in the preseason. Him and Jeff Janis, neither have ever panned out during the regular season. And we definitely learned that last season with Hundley. So we at least got a sixth for the guy. Pretty happy about that. Although it does leave a question, because after Aaron Rodgers, we knew what we had in Brett Hundley. We knew that he was going to suck ass for a couple games, but then, once every third game, he was going to, show out a little bit. Like, make a nice pass or something. At least we knew what we had. Now with DeShone Kizer, we don't know what we have. We know we got a talented, raw quarterback, but we don't know how he's going to perform if, and knock on wood, but holy shit, if Aaron were to ever go down again, what is DeShone Kizer really going to do? Like, we don't know how he's really going to function in this offense. We have preseason tape we can go off of, but we don't really know what he'll do in the Packers offense in the regular season if he needed to go. So at least Hundley was a known commodity. Now it's a little murkier. Boyle also made the roster, and Tim Boyle, God, you look at his college stats and you're just like, how the fuck did the Packers even sign this guy? How did any NFL team want him? I mean, this guy was, what do you have, like 10 touchdowns and 26 interceptions? I mean, this guy was fucking, he was something else, man. I don't even know how, but the Packers, Brian Gutekunst came up to the press conference, and a reporter asked, hey, Tim Boyle doesn't really have the college numbers you look for. He's like, yeah, I know, but you look at his arm, and he's got such a live arm. So they were looking at it from a perspective that he's got the raw talent, and they can potentially mold him. And you saw that in the preseason. This guy was, every time they called a deep route, Tim Boyle was hucking it. Every single time. He didn't even care. He didn't care what coverage. He didn't care if it was one-man coverage, two-man coverage. He didn't care if there was three guys back there. He was fucking letting it fly. And I love it. I love the confidence. I love the willingness to put it up there, let his guys make a play on the ball. So, and he looked good. And short and intermediate passes, too. And that last preseason game, he had some really unfortunate interceptions. Kind of reared his college head a little bit, but what can we really expect from a third-string quarterback? This guy's not going to see the field ever, hopefully. So this was more of a thing. We didn't want to lose him. We wanted to keep him around, but I thought we could have got him on the practice squad. But He's on the roster. Don't love it. Don't hate it. It is what it is. He looked good, but he's never going to see the field. Moving on to running backs. Pretty much everybody got cut, including Devontae Mays, which was surprising. Everybody thought that with the Aaron Jones suspension, maybe Devontae Mays would make the roster and contribute a little bit, but he got cut. And unsurprisingly, no undrafted rookies made this roster. I know Joel Bunyan, or however you pronounce his last name, he was, getting a lot of snaps, but that guy, honestly, he looked like shit. He had no, he had no nice runs. I think he had 2 runs over 10 yards, and he had he had over 20 carries. So it is what it is. He really ran into the back of the offensive line on almost every snap. So yeah, I wasn't really impressed with any of the running backs except for Aaron Jones, who showed out in the 4th game. Oh my God, he's got to be the starting running back week 3 when he gets back from suspension. I could feel differently if Jamal Williams shows out these next 2 weeks, including today against the Bears, but I think that Aaron Jones is the guy week 3. He's just so dynamic. He's so shifty. He's so just everything that you want at a running back. Maybe his pass blocking isn't the best, and he really hasn't shown. Surprisingly, Jamal Williams has been a better receiver out of the backfield than Aaron Jones, but I don't think Aaron Jones has gotten that many opportunities to show himself as a pass catcher coming out of the backfield. So we'll see on that, but other than those, I think Aaron Jones, he just has that one cut and he's up the field. He knows how to avoid contact. He's just everything that you want. So I think he's got to be starting week 3. So moving on to fullback. Shocker, the Packers don't have one on the roster. What? That is nuts, dude. We always have a fullback. Fucking thinking back to William Henderson and, of course, John Kuhn. Now the Ripper and Joe Carriage, and now they're gone. So it's just like, shit, man. This is really turning the page for McCarthy, and I think Joe Philbin had a lot to do with this. I think that he came in, and McCarthy even talked about it, that they took a scrub brush to the whole offense. They want to rebuild the offense. They want, a modern Sean McVay kind of offense, I believe. So they hacked away at the fullback position. There was a lot of speculation like, Carriage is probably going to make the roster over Ripper. Well, neither of them made it. And I never thought Carriage was going to make it over Ripper anyway, but that is just so crazy that we don't have a fullback in the offense because it's been such a staple in Green Bay's offense for so long. But, I mean, come on, we got to get with the times. And I'm as sad as anybody that Ripkowski's gone. I mean, that's my guy. But it is what it is. We got to evolve with the times. It's either evolve or die. So, had to do what we had to do. Moving on to wide receiver. There were no cuts made. Every single wide receiver that was in camp made the roster. Now, obviously, that's a joke, but Jesus Christ, we kept 7 wide receivers, and we wanted to keep Kumaro too, but we were just like, fuck, what do we do? So we just put him on the IR. So it's like, okay, that's one way to do it. So it'll be really, really interesting when he comes back in week 8 to see what we do with Kumaro. Well, if he comes back week 8. So if he's healthy and we want him to come back, who are we cutting? Are we going to cut Trevor Davis? Are we going to cut Equanimeous St. Brown? Marquez Valdez-Scantling? What are we going to do there? So it'll be really interesting to see, but Trevor Davis made it? Trevor Davis? This guy played what did he play? 1 or 2 games? Ugh. I mean, come on. What did he show? what did he show? And then I hear people talking about, oh, well, he's comfortable with Aaron Rodgers. Bullshit. That's complete bullshit. He was never comfortable with Aaron Rodgers. He never spent a significant amount of time playing with Aaron Rodgers. And I bet if you were to like sit down with Aaron one-on-one, like you were out to get coffee with him and there were no microphones, no nothing, and you asked him, what's your chemistry like with Trevor Davis? He'd be like, there is none. Like, because there really isn't. They haven't had a lot of time to spend together and develop that chemistry. Plus, there have been some really questionable effort plays from Trevor Davis. Him dropping like wide open passes. Sorry, I got cut off right there. I just had to pause the podcast real quick. But anyway, what I was saying was Trevor Davis, really questionable effort, dropping. I'm pretty sure I remember him dropping like a wide open like touchdown pass or would have been touchdown pass. And there was also a play last year where Brett Huntley threw a bomb to Trevor Davis, and it was within arm's reach, and he didn't even try. Like it was too far or something, so he didn't even try. But it was within arm's reach, and you're just like, what the hell? I remember watching that live. It's like, what the hell are you doing? So, yeah, I really don't know with Trevor Davis. I know that he was the highest graded punt returner, or I just think returner overall, according to Pro Football Focus. So that probably had a lot to do with him making the roster, but he also had a lot of questionable return decisions last year. You know, fielding punts out of the end zone, taking kicks way deep in the end zone. This guy, his common sense when it comes to returning, it doesn't seem like there's much of it. So I guess it's to be seen with Trevor Davis in every aspect of the game. So, but on a different note, all the rookies made it, which I was saying I would rather have all the rookies make it, and this was the debate, was would you rather have all three rookies make it or a couple rookies and then Kumaro? And I said all the rookies, because why would you take on Kumaro? Kumaro's on like a 1-year deal. So let's run through this scenario. Kumaro balls out. Then you either got to pay him or he's gone. And then say you cut, some people want to cut Jamon Moore. Like, this guy was a 4th-round pick. And, yeah, his hands were very suspect. He basically had bricks for hands. But looked a lot better the last couple games. And you're not going to cut a 4th-round pick. You're not going to do that. Especially, like, he was running great routes. He was getting open. It was just the hands. It was just a mental thing. And people wanted to cut him? What? So you're either going to cut either him, MVS, or EQ. Why were you... We've all seen them. We've seen each three of those guys make tremendous plays. We've seen them flash their potential. And we're going to give up on 3 rookies, or one of those 3 rookies who are on a 4-year cheap deal. Cheap deal. And we've seen their potential. We've seen Jamon with the route running. We've seen MVS in the first preseason game where he went wild. And we've seen EQ look like a 6'5" Randall Cobb. We've seen him catch a crossing route, and then he spins around, turns around, and then starts running the other way. The guy ran a 4.4 flat almost. I think it was like a 4.42. But he's definitely got... They've all got the massive upside. And then we're going to keep Kumaro, who's already 26, who's on a 1-year deal, who we either have to pay or let walk. And then we're going to potentially lose one of our high upside wide receivers for a guy that could be gone after 1 year? No, fuck that. I think we made the right decision in keeping all 3. We'll see what happens. I think now you could potentially, out of the 3, you could get EQ on the practice squad now that teams have their rosters filled out. So if we needed to make a cut week 3 to get Aaron Rodgers or to get Aaron Jones back on the field, if we needed to make a cut, I think EQ might be the guy there that we could sneak onto the practice squad. But I don't know. He's very intriguing. Fast guy, runs good routes. He might. You can make an argument that he might be the most sure-handed receiver out of the rookies. So, but I think we could probably sneak him onto the practice squad because most teams have their roster set right now, especially by week 3. I don't think there's going to be too many people vying for a rookie wide receiver, but you never know. Moving on to tight end, pretty surprising. We kept Kendricks and Tonyan. Now, to be honest, I wanted both, but I didn't think that was a scenario that was actually going to play out. That we were going to have to pick between one or the other because I didn't think there would be enough roster spots elsewhere. So, and a lot of people wanted Kendricks gone, but Kendricks, he's a reliable veteran. And now his hands he was kind of like a little Jamon Moore. His hands were suspect. He was dropping easy passes. It's like, what are you doing? But he's a reliable veteran. For the most part, he's sure-handed. And he made some big plays last year with Brett Hundley. So, we'll see what he can do with Aaron Rodgers. I think it's a good move keeping him. Tonyan might be more special teams than anything else, but he looked damn good. He looked damn good in the preseason. He was getting open. He was making end zone fade catches. I mean, he looked damn good. So, I'm excited for Tonyan, but I really don't know how much he's going to be seeing the field, seeing that there's 3 tight ends in front of him. So, one thing I'll touch on later, but Marcedes Lewis gives us so much flexibility in our offense because the guy's pretty goddamn sure-handed. He rarely ever drops balls. Is he the quickest? No, but he's massive. He's 6'7", 280. He's a light offensive tackle. So, and it shows in the run blocking. He was the highest graded blocking tight end according to Pro Football Focus by a mile. It wasn't even close. So I'm very excited for Marcedes Lewis, and look for him to be helping out Brian Bulaga or David Bakhtiari with Khalil Mack, because then you basically have 2 offensive tackles taking on Khalil Mack, and then you also, he could just throw a huge shoulder or a bow right into Khalil Mack before he runs out for his route. So I look for Marcedes Lewis to be a huge benefit. It was a really good signing, really good underrated signing by Brian Gutekunst bringing in Marcedes Lewis because he's so valuable in the blocking game. Whether it's chipping for pass blocking or blocking during a run play. And the guy is still a pretty damn good red zone target. Had 3 touchdowns last year with the Jaguars against the Ravens when they played in London. I mean, this guy can still get it done in the passing game. So don't discredit him in that area either. Really excited for our tight end position, and Jimmy Graham, it goes without saying. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has a man crush for Jimmy Graham, and I'm pretty sure every other Packers fan does too. So hopefully he can stay healthy. That's the big question. It's the big question with Jimmy Graham. Is he going to stay healthy? I don't know. But, yeah, tight end position looking pretty good. Moving on to O-line, I am scared to fucking death. I am scared shitless. And I think potentially we might need to use both first-round picks on the offensive line next year. We need a backup tackle, and we need a starting guard. I do not think Justin McCray will cut it. I don't think he'll cut it. I don't think he's good. I don't think he's an NFL starter. An NFL backup? Sure. Yeah. He's smart. He gives 100% effort. But I don't think he's that good. I really don't. Now, hopefully he proves me wrong, because he was playing out of position. I'll grant you that. He was playing tackle. The guy's a guard through and through, 100%. He was playing tackle, and I'm not going to grade him off his tackle performance. But even when you stick him at guard, he isn't that good. He isn't that good. Now, like I said, he gives 100% effort, so that will, on some plays, get the job done, but against a Geno Atkins, and I know a lot of guys struggle with Geno Atkins, but against better D tackles, he's really going to struggle, I think. And Lane Taylor has never really graded that highly according to Pro Football Focus. He's never really graded that highly. I think he's always been under 80. I think he's always been in the 70s. And I think even last year he was graded around 73, 70 to 73. Not that good. That's not that good of a starter. I think we probably should have brought back Jerry Evans because that's a multiple All-Pro. Now, is he in the twilight of his career? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's not that good. But I think he's still better than Justin McCray, and it gives us a nice veteran presence on the O-line. I think we probably should have brought back Jerry. So I'm very scared for our offensive line. If Brian Bulaga or D-back goes down, holy shit. We are in a world of hurt. Looking at the backups, Kyle Murphy's to IR. He had one of the worst preseason games I've ever seen in my entire life. He gave up 4 sacks, had 2 holding calls. I mean, this guy was a complete fucking mess. It was a game where it basically screamed out to Brian Gutekunst, cut me now. And this is a guy that showed a lot of promise last year before he went on IR. Had a couple good games. Had a couple games where he graded above 80 on the PFF scale. But now he just looked completely awful. And maybe the injury had something to do with that. I think the coaches were leading that on, that he was playing injured. But holy fuck, dude. That was just pitiful. Byron Bell. This is our backup guard, right guard, and right tackle. Byron Bell. This guy has been a failure everywhere he's been. He's a better guard than he is tackle, but that's not saying much. If Brian Bulaga goes down, and we don't know if Brian Bulaga is going to stay healthy. This guy is, he's one of those guys like Clay Matthews. If he could get hurt anytime, anywhere, it doesn't matter. It's a ticking time bomb. He could miss a week here. He could miss 5 weeks there. Who fucking knows with this guy? D-back's way more solid on the injury front. But, he was shaken up during camp. I am just scared shitless with our offensive line. We definitely needed to address it early and often in the 2019 draft. And I really think we should have brought in some veteran help, like sign Jerry Evans, because we are not looking like a good unit. And people are still ranking our off. You know why they're ranking our offensive line high? It's because of D-back. It's solely on it's on D-back's back. It's because of him that our offensive line is ranked in the top 10. People are ranking our offensive line in the top 10 offensive lines of the NFL. And that's solely because of D-back, because he is the best left tackle in the NFL. And then Brian Bulaga is one of the best right tackles in the NFL. He was graded out as the best right tackle in the NFL by Pro Football Focus and Bleacher Report, their scouts that they have over there. So, a couple years ago. So, our offensive line, our tackles are solid when healthy. And God forbid if either of them go down, we are so fucked. I mean, there's no way to dance around that. Moving on to D-line, there are really no surprises there. Tyler Lancaster got cut. Some people thought he might make it. All the undrafted rookies there got cut. I mean, even James Looney from Cal, one of our draft picks in the 7th round, and he's got. I even thought he should have been cut too. He's got some pop. He's got some explosiveness off the line, but you really saw him get washed by double teams. I mean, he's just not big enough to handle that. So give him a year to get acclimated to the NFL, practice against the starting O-line as a scout team D lineman. He gets to practice against the starting O-line. I mean, we saw what Reggie Gilbert did. Reggie Gilbert was on the practice squad practicing against the starting O-line. So, going up against David Bakhtiari every day really has its benefits. So we'll see what James Looney can do on the practice squad, and hopefully he comes back next year stronger, bigger, can handle himself in the run game better. But, yeah, I mean, there are no surprises at D-line. We got Dean Lowry, Montravius, Mikey D, Kenny Clark, and Muhammad Wilkerson. So Montravius was a very pleasant surprise. You know, I thought he was one of our best draft picks coming out of Auburn. I thought he was a complete savage. And then, you know, he missed most of the year for injury and never really got caught up. So he's really making up for lost time. He really is. He looked fantastic, and all the reports coming out of training camp was that he was looking like a goddamn savage. So I'm very excited for Montravius, and Dean Lowry is he's a steady, consistent D lineman. I don't really think he's never gonna be a Muhammad Wilkerson or a Mike Daniels or a Kenny Clark or anything like that, but he's gonna be a solid backup. And you know, what else can you really ask for? When we have the starting D-line that we do, it's nice to have a player of Dean Lowry's caliber backing them up. And then Montravius also as a backup. You know, our D-line is obviously the strongest part of our defense. You know, looking at it pre first game. Moving on to outside linebacker. This is another what the fuck position. You know, kind of like O-line. We cut 4 guys. We cut Beagle. What? Beagle, very disappointing. He really didn't look like... It doesn't look like he's big or strong enough. Look at Nick Perry and look at Beagle. Oh my God. Vince Beagle looks like he's, you know, a year out of high school compared to Nick Perry. You know, Nick Perry is a goddamn ox. He's fucking yoked. And then you look at Vince Beagle, oh my God, it's like a strain bane. Well, not like Kyler Fackrell strain bane, and that's another guy. You cut Beagle and you keep Kyler Fackrell? Are you kidding me? I don't think we should have given up on Beagle just yet, man. I mean, the athleticism is there, the potential is there for him to be a situational guy at least, but I think it was a mistake moving on from Beagle so early. And you want to know something else? We have 4 guys. Guess who the 2 starters are? Clay and Nick. Which 2 guys get hurt most on the defense? Clay and Nick. Oh my God. Nick Perry's got glass hands. This guy's breaking hands every single season. I mean, this guy's never had a healthy hand, I feel like. And then you look at Clay, it's always hamstring, quad, shoulder, fucking, you know, whatever the fuck, back. It's always something with him. And, like, when they're both on the field, fan-fucking-tastic, and I hope they stay healthy the whole season. I love them both. I love that. Nick Perry, there was no one leading the Nick Perry bandwagon like me when it was the draft when he was coming out. I was banging the fucking table for Nick Perry more than anybody else. And like any Packers fan, I love Clay Matthews to fucking death. You know, that's my fucking guy. I will ride or die for Clay Matthews. But looking at the reality, they're always hurt. It's always something. When you look at Clay and Nick, you gotta assume that they're gonna miss at least 4, 5, 6 games combined for the both of them. You know, they're each gonna miss 1, 2, or 3 games. At least. There's always something going on with them. And now you only have 4 guys. So what happens if Clay and Nick go down in the same game? Guess who your edge rushers are? Reggie Gilbert, who looked like a goddamn savage during the preseason. Not trying to take anything away from Reggie. But, you know, a year, you know, he's not that many games removed from the practice squad. I know that this is the guy that's your premier edge rusher. And guess who's the opposite? Kyler Fackrell. Kyler shouldn't be in the NFL. Fackrell. I mean, this is a guy that was coming out of the draft process saying, I'm more comfortable in coverage than I am rushing the passer. And this is the guy we're rushing the passer with. I mean, it doesn't get any more comical than that. And we kept him instead of Beagle. And at least Beagle will give you, like, nice hustle and effort plays. Kyler Fackrell, I mean, he's just getting ragdolled the whole time. So, oh my God, outside linebacker is a huge concern. But there are some intriguing free agents right now. Jaron Elliott, who was the highest graded edge rusher in the preseason, according to Pro Football Focus. I think it makes so much sense. It blows my mind. We need to bring back J. Roan. And J. Roan's unsigned right now, but I hear that is because if you sign a free agent prior to week 1, a veteran free agent, you need to guarantee their contract. But if you do it after week 1, you don't need to guarantee their contract. So I think that's why guys like J. Roan Elliott and John Simon, who I also think would be a nice facelift for our outside linebacker group, signing either of those guys or both of them after week 1 would be awesome. I think 110% we should bring back J. Roan Elliott because he's leaps and bounds better than Kyler Fackrell. You know, he just had trouble staying on the field with injuries or whatever. I'm a big believer in J. Roan still. I think the guy has a lot of tools that he can use to get to the passer, and we've seen it. That Seahawks game a couple years ago against Russell Wilson, yeah, we've seen J. Roan make big impact plays. We need to bring him back, 100%. There's no doubt about it. Make it happen, Goot. Looking at inside linebacker, holy fuck, dude. Oh my god. When Jake Ryan went down, and I am kind of like I am with Nick Perry, even though I'm an Ohio State fan and Jake Ryan came out of Michigan, I banged the fucking drum for Jake Ryan. I think he's good. I think he's really good. And he was graded higher, according to PFF, than Blake Martinez. He had a higher grade. I'm pretty sure he was an 83. Blake Martinez was like a 79 or something like that. Now, do I think Jake Ryan should be starting over Blake Martinez? No, I'm not. I've never said that, and I won't say that. I think Blake Martinez should be the starter. But Jake Ryan was a goddamn good linebacker to have next to him. He had one of the highest run-stopping grades, according to Pro Football Focus, in the entire NFL. He was like number 1 or number 2. And that was a huge loss. And then Oren Burks comes in. And then, honestly, to be honest with you guys, I didn't see it. I didn't see it with Oren Burks coming out of college. But obviously he showed out in preseason, so that was very encouraging. And then he gets hurt. So now he's questionable for week 1. We go and we trade for Antonio Morrison. We trade Lindsey Pipkins, which is kind of like a Jake Ryan substitute because Morrison's not going to give you much in the pass defense game, but he's damn sure he's gonna fucking run into a concrete wall if he has to go tackle a running back. So that's more of a Jake Ryan replacement than anything else. Big run stopping presence, which I thought was a good trade because we weren't going to keep Lindsey anyway. You know, we were happy with our 5 guys. Oh, yeah, just one thing. I'll talk about it when we get to the cornerbacks. Hopefully I remember. But, yeah. Hopefully Burks is healthy because we really need him to match up with Tariq Cohen. We need like a fast, athletic, agile linebacker to match up with Tariq Cohen in week 1. And Burks can be that. But is he going to be healthy? Looking at the rest of the inside linebackers, we went out and signed Corey Toomer, very athletic linebacker, maybe just a special teams guy. And the guy who's obviously special teams, James Crawford. The Packers coaches and Brian Gutekunst were raving about James Crawford. Not about his defensive play. This guy played like 20 snaps on defense all preseason. But because he played like an absolute savage on special teams. And that goes to show, you play special teams and you play well, you give 100% effort, you have a chance to make a club. That's why I think it's so ludicrous when guys come out of college and say, "Oh, I'm not doing special teams." Dude, that might be your only avenue to get on the team. Look at James Crawford. He fully embraced that role, and now he made the fucking squad. Good for him, dude. You know, I 100% applaud it. And you know what? If James Crawford is a special team savage, fuck yeah. I love those guys. I love, like, wild-ass rabid dog motherfuckers running down the field and lighting motherfuckers up. Oh, my God, that gets me juiced. Who doesn't love a kickoff return when the returner is running up the field and they just get fucking laid out? Yes. Yeah. That gets me fucking going. I love that shit, dude. So if James Crawford can be that guy, yes, give me all of that. So I'm happy for him. I'm glad he did what he needed to do to make the roster. I applaud him for that. Now, is he going to see much defense time? I hope not. I hope we don't have those kind of injuries where James Crawford has to see the field. I'd rather have Corey Toomer out there because he's played some snaps with starting defenses and shit like that. And hopefully Burks gets back to health. And we also have Antonio Morrison and Blake Martinez, obviously. So we'll see what happens, in a few hours here when we face against the Bears. Moving on to corners. We only kept 5. We got to stay healthy. I mean, that's paramount. If we don't stay healthy, if Tremont goes down or Jair goes down, then we only have 4. And we don't you can't really go out and sign a good corner at this stage in the game. Or like a solid corner that can give you good reps at this stage in the game. Or sign a guy off the practice squad. So we got to stay healthy. With only 5 corners, we got to stay healthy. I know Herb Waters made the 53 initially, but he was cut like 5 seconds after they released the initial roster. So maybe they go back and they sign him, but he didn't look very good in the preseason after being talked up by Joe Witt. So, we'll see what happens. And, this is what I wanted to talk about. Josh Jackson is 5th. He's the 5th cornerback out of 5 in the depth chart after being the most impressive in preseason. What the fuck? Well, dude, see, that's the kind of shit that I don't get. Suck up your pride. Put Devon House at the 5th, because I know Mike McCarthy loves to, he loves to give veterans every opportunity to succeed before the rookies finally pass them up. Okay, no. You put Devon House at 5, and you put Josh Jackson at least at 4. Because I know Jair's going to be playing in the slot with KK and Tremont manning the outside. But at least Josh Jackson's got to be backing up. He's got to be the primary backup for one of those two. Not Devon House. And yet Devon House, I'm not giving up on Devon House. I don't think he's a horrible cornerback. Not by any stretch of the imagination. I think he's a goddamn good cornerback when it comes to press. He's a very good press cornerback. He's very good at defending slants and shit like that. But Josh Jackson was the highest graded cornerback in the NFL during the preseason. And he had 2 pick sixes. I don't give a goddamn if that other one was called back. That was bullshit. That was from Herb Waters on the other side of the field. That had nothing to do with Josh Jackson's interception and return for a touchdown. So if you're asking me, he had 2 pick sixes. Officially. Josh Jackson needs to be a primary backup. And that's really all I got to say about that. Jamal Williams looked good. Looked like a good veteran. Obviously had that pick 6. That was very exciting. Kevin Kane, really didn't see too much from him, but in that last preseason game, he was in there. He was defending passes. He looked pretty decent. And you guys know that I don't really fuck with Kevin Kane. But, I'm 100% supporting him. I don't want him to fail. I mean, this is my favorite team. These are my guys, I bleed green and yellow. I want Kevin Kane to be successful. I want him to be an all-pro. I want to be wrong during my draft evaluation of Kevin Kane, saying that he wasn't good and that I don't think he should have been picked until the 4th round. I want to be completely dead wrong. And I want you guys to call me out and tell me how wrong I was. But, facts are facts. And I didn't think he was very good coming out of college. Whatever, though, he looked pretty good in week 4. We'll see what he can do. Jair also looked good, had an interception. Man, I'm very excited about this secondary. These young rookies. Jair completely baited. The quarterback. Connor Cook. Completely baited Connor Cook into that interception when we played the Raiders in the preseason. So, yeah. We got some youth and some excitement. Josh Jackson, when he gets some playing time, is obviously going to be Defensive Rookie of the Year. Write it in stone. Carve it in stone. He's going to be Rookie of the Year. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Watch out, Marshawn Lattimore, because he's way better, motherfucker. No, but I don't really know about all that. But I'm very excited for the potential that our secondary shows, especially long term. Well, I should really say secondary, because looking at safety, Jesus Christ, Josh Jones, what a complete disappointment. I mean, this guy couldn't find his way onto the field. The coaches obviously don't trust him out there, and I really don't know. I don't know what to say about Josh Jones, because everybody thought he was going to be the starter, and then Kentrell Brice is starting over him. And I hate to be that guy, but you look back at my Josh Jones film breakdown when we drafted him, it was just like, this guy doesn't have good instincts. I don't think he's a very good safety. I think he should be playing inside linebacker. And what does Mike Pettin say? Yeah, I think we're going to be moving Josh Jones into more of a dime linebacker role. I'm like, thank you. He's not a very good safety, guys. He really isn't. He doesn't have those amazing instincts. But as a inside linebacker, the guy runs a 4.4. He's supremely athletic. Had like 20 bench reps. He's already 220 pounds. This guy's like a Ryan Shazier-esque. Not saying he's as good as I'm saying he's esque. Ryan Shazier-esque. He's got the speed. He's got the strength. He's got, somewhat of the size of an inside linebacker. That's where he should be playing. In dime situations or, second down. Maybe not a first down. That's where you have Antonio Morrison coming in there and fucking shit up. Josh Jones, he's going to be fuck, I don't know what he's going to be. It's just like, this guy has shown absolutely nothing. He's looked lost in the preseason games, and now he's hurt, and he's sitting out week 1, so it's just like, Jesus Christ, what a disappointment. He has so much potential. I guess we'll see and, moving on to Kentrell Brice. Kentrell's starting. Kentrell Brice is the starting strong safety for the Green Bay Packers. What? Dude, come on. He is not a starting safety. It's like Justin McCray. They're not starters. They're backups. They should not be seeing starter reps. And I hope I'm wrong. Again, I want to be wrong. I want Kentrell to come out and just start smashing people in the mouth and have 50 interceptions. I don't think that's going to be the case. Somehow Jermaine Whitehead made the roster. How did that happen? Jermaine Whitehead looked awful. I've never seen worse. All right. The only player who was worse than Jermaine Whitehead was Kyle Murphy. But then you look at Jermaine Whitehead, he was giving up touchdowns, he was giving up receptions, he was missing tackles. I mean, this guy was awful the last preseason game. I did not think he was going to make the roster, but the coaching staff has a complete hard-on for Jermaine Whitehead, so I mean, that's pretty much why he made it. But then Raven Green, who I thought really outplayed Jermaine Whitehead and some of the other safeties, he 100% deserved to make the roster. He was a sure tackler. He was where he was supposed to be in coverage. Really didn't see him make any mistakes. So, yeah, Raven Green, I'm happy he made the roster. And, we'll see what he can do. Marwin Evans got cut, and it's just like, yeah, I mean, he looked good in the preseason last year, but during the regular season gave up a ton of big plays, and then, kind of the same in the preseason. Wasn't really where he needed to be, wasn't really making plays, so, it is what it is with that. And then HaHa was pretty inconsistent. We all thought HaHa is potentially going to turn the corner and, get back to his Pro Bowl safety self. But, he was missing tackles. He was, lapsing coverage. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, HaHa, please don't carry this over to the regular season. Please be a dog. Please get back to being a Pro Bowler. So, we'll see with all that. We will see. But I'm not feeling too good about the safety position, the outside linebacker position, and the O-line position. It's just like an injury here, an injury there. We are so fucked. And I really thought we needed... Dude, I don't give a fuck. Sign Eric Reed. Eric Reed's a dog. He was a dog. Sign Eric Reed. One of those guys. Bring those guys in. No, but we passed on that. Now we're rolling into the season with Kentrell Brice as our starting safety. As far as specialists are concerned, I am kind of concerned with lawn snapper, even though we drafted a lawn snapper, and I thought, oh, hey, like, lawn snapper is a pretty important position because, they got to get the ball to the punter for the punter to do the job. They got to get the ball to the holder for the kicker to make the field goal, shit like that. They're very instrumental to the whole process. But then neither Zach Triner or Hunter Bradley looked very good as a lawn snapper. And, when Ron Zook, our special teams coordinator, talks about it, he's kind of like, yeah, we'll see. Like, that's not the attitude you want to have with your lawn snapper. Like, Jesus Christ. So, we'll see what happens with that. Mason was, steady as always. Consummate professional. Love Mason Crosby. That's my guy. And then, J.K. Scott. I was blanking for a second. J.K. Scott out of Alabama. Little inconsistent, but, the guy's got a huge leg. And I remember watching him at Alabama, and he would boom punts. Oh, my God, would he boom punts. So, a little inconsistent, but, he's finding his footing in the NFL. And, hopefully throughout the season he develops into, the cannon leg that I know that he is. So, special teams, I really do hope special teams is improved because, during Ron Zook's tenure, kind of like Dom Capers, or towards the end of his run, our special teams have been ranked pretty low in, like, the NFL rankings for special teams. So, hopefully they turn the corner now with J.K. Scott and obviously the steady foot of Mason Crosby and now James the Savage Crawford getting after guys. So, yeah, overall, I like our roster. I really think our corner group is vastly improved. But Jesus Christ, man. O-line, outside linebacker, and safety. And even inside linebacker. A lot of unproven things going on there besides Blake Martinez. Other than Blake Martinez. And, everybody's talking about Mike Pettin. Everybody's talking about Mike Pettin and, how much he's going to... Because he didn't have that great of inside linebackers when he was in New York with the Jets. And he still made it work. But it's like, Jesus Christ, man. Antonio Morrison and Corey Toomer and guys like that. Because, someone's got to play alongside Blake Martinez. So, yeah, hopefully he dials it up and, he masks a lot of our deficiencies, especially at outside linebacker. And people are talking about, he's going to be creative with blitzes. He's going to get guys in good positions and shit like that. And I really hope that's the case. But 4 outside linebackers? Oh, my God. And Kyler Fackrell being one of them? Oh, my God. So, yeah, overall, I like our roster. I think we could fortify a few more positions. But it's a pretty competitive roster. I think we're going to win with this roster right around 12 games because it's Aaron Rodgers, man. It's Aaron Rodgers. It's Aaron Rodgers' team. Whenever you have him, you're going to have at least a 10-win season. And we have Jimmy Graham. We got the best left tackle in the NFL, one of the best tight ends in the NFL, the best quarterback in the NFL, the best D-line in the NFL. Yeah, I fucking said it. We got the best goddamn D-line. If Muhammad Wilkerson can get back to form, it's far and away we have the best defensive line. Very competitive cornerback position. We have HaHa, who was a Pro Bowler. Hopefully he can get back to that. There's a lot of reasons to be optimistic. I know I pointed out a lot of pessimism, but I just like to point out the spots that worry me. I like to point out those positions. So overall, I like what Goody did in getting this roster set. I'm very much looking forward to the season. I think we can kick a lot of ass. We're definitely going to kick the Bears' ass tonight. Look out for my video that I'm going to be posting after this podcast. And go Pack fucking go. 16-0, motherfucker!